going to be doing this informally. If you have trouble hearing, just put your arm up, and Karen will come over and adjust the microphone. We have different poets of different sizes, though not of different statures. So we'll adjust. I'm on the board and the treasurer at OffCenter Community Arts Project. Has anyone not heard of OffCenter? Wow. Okay, so great. We're down by Robinson Park, just on the near west side of downtown. It's an area where a lot of different types of lives intersect and you cross over and whatnot, and so we just make everyone in our community welcome. Even if they're, financially secure and mentally stable, they're still welcome. We take everyone. So, no, I'm also in the writing group, which is it's led by Mandy Gardner. She's on her way to visit an Ealing Aunt in Australia, so I'm filling in. Mandy started the writing group at OffCenter in 2012, and it's met weekly ever since. Mandy is a medical journal writer. That's professionally. She has written for like BuzzFeed and Reader's Digest, any popular information sources that cover medical news. But she's also, along with her husband, Grady Hillman, they've had a career bringing poetry to prisons and having poetry groups in prisons, which surprisingly is much more popular across the gender spectrum than one might suspect. And I was intrigued to find out that particularly in the male prisons, these guys are, when they're outside the walls, they can take their tender feelings and they don't have to talk about them. They can give nice presents to their loved ones, children, or they can go on outings and whatnot. But suddenly they're isolated behind the walls, and they are very invested in maintaining these relationships, but they're not terribly comfortable with a pen and a paper and words to express those tender feelings. So enter the poets, and they're very popular to be able to maintain relationships. So that's what Mandy and Grady have done. Mandy, as I said, started then also the writing group at OffCenter. We've met weekly, even during the pandemic. We had to resort to meeting via Zoom. But in spite of that, we managed to produce 2 literary journals. First, we did the Quarantine, and then we did the Vaccine. So, see me if you want to take a look at them. Now, we're going to start. It's going to be, as I said, informal. Raise your hands if you can't hear the person speaking. We are going to each come up, and we're going to give our name and the title of our writing. That will allow Karen to pull up the artwork that we wrote about. So we'll have to pause while that happens, and then once the artwork is up, we'll give our writing. There are a couple of our poets who weren't able to be here. So a couple of us will read our own piece and let Karen pull that up, and then we'll give the name of the other poet and that title, and Karen will pull up that piece, and then we'll read the second piece. And so we'll proceed like that. Interesting, these writings were mostly all done in one session. Karen came and visited us and gave out these pictures of the artwork, but we weren't given the title purposefully. We just interpreted on our own what our response to the visual artwork was. And some of us, like me, like this one, took a very different tack from what the title of the artwork, when we found out, might actually suggest. So it'll be interesting that way, you know, how many times they jive and how many times they diverge. So, but our first poet, Carolyn Clark, is going, she didn't do a particular piece of artwork in the show, she wasn't at that session, but she took the theme, a gateway to a sense of wonder, and then she went out and visited the gallery and found an artwork that gave her a sense of wonder, and so then she wrote about that. So she's going to introduce the overall theme with her writing, and then we'll proceed from there. So,
well, my name is Carolyn Clark, and the painting that I responded to, I will tell you, came from this book, and this is the painting. This is a local artist. I texted her today and told her I was writing it on the phone. She said that was fine. So, my response is called, "A Book of Art Opens Me to Wonder." I was visiting an art gallery on Mountain Road. The artist had died, and her friends were selling her stunning handmade books, wax-based colorful art supplies, and beautiful cranes. An attractive older woman, stylish dresser, black and white dress, blonde hair, and bright red lipstick, and fun low-heeled shoes, was standing by a book then that captured my attention. The shiny abstract cover of yellow and orange shades perked my interest. As I opened the book, I read incredibly meaningful poems. Her son had committed suicide several years ago. The book was made to honor her son's poetry. Her abstract paintings connected to each poem. I was captivated in awe of one painting entitled Buttercup, done with watercolor and sumite ink. The painting was uplifting, comforting. My wonderment continued. The colors, the shades of rich dark blue, rusty cinnamon shapes, splattered throughout. A strong white, all covering or exposing a sharp white background, strong black outline of an enormous, powerful leaf. Thoughts wandering and wondering, surpluses of feelings, tranquilizing. It was bright, uplifting, hopeful. The colors appeared and slowly became lighter, as with life. Faded. Still they remained. Nature continued, persisted. I call it God's artwork. Hold dreams, hopes, fears. The light will always remain.
Hi, my name is Joan Robbins, and the poem is called Simply Perfect. Face, you can see why. Symmetry, beauty, posed in yogic perfection, poised in peace and omness, wood bent and caught to show its humanity. Pieces joined together as bones might be, skinless muscles and tendons implied. It's not at all unusual to have 3 horse legs holding up this human in space, grounded in stone. Om Shanti, Om Namaste. Diving into by Megan Baldridge. Yes. Diving into layers of what? Wallpaper, your epidermis, my microscopic skin cells blown up, psychedelic clouds, diving out of what? Epiphany, apoplexy, apocalypse. There might be a vortex, an eye, a possibility, a path through this quilt of contradictory patterns, radio signals, rattlesnake skins, alternate leather for a stampede of imitation cowboys corralled in a western bar on the Lower East Side or in Kyoto. Line follows line, spiral nudges spiral. Have we always been this tribal? This, I'm all about the spiral, nothing but demi-monde. This, since I support spirals, I'm not zigzagging anymore. But adjacently, we are blue, we are red, so near to one another. Step across a crack and find your neighbor who loves circles, not spirals, and love the circles.
Good afternoon, I'm Megan Ferresi. Restoration of soul.
Up. Volume up.
Restoration of soul.
That's a
Tree-lined morning, heart glowing, embracing journey, wondrous expectancy. Forest following lone tree, stands in sovereignty with me. The warm sand between my toes, who knows if it will speak to me, this tree. I wait patiently. Untitled by Virginia Tierney. No snow depicted, but wondrous and frightening, crushing coldness of the Prussian blue mountains. Bauhaus buildings crouching under the weight of blue. Windows look studiously away from the dark blue mountains. I shiver and admire the artist's ability to transport me to a place where the very light is hostile to human life. Only one daringly cracked curtain, the rest as closed as the opaque eyes of the dead. Perhaps it is a vision of Elon Musk's abandoned settlement on Mars, the one settler left behind the open curtain, training his eyes on Earth.
My name is Faye Opal, and I did Sunrise from the Foothills. The sunrise has set upon the landscape. A light is etched into each crack of rock. Every sentimental snowflake has been strewn with yellow. The residents of the mountain range homes have yet to be shaken awake with the sights laid out before them. The zigging hills which jump into the blatantly blue, TV static sky. A mildewed fence eroded with time and the arrival of winter dusting. The only forestation for miles stands tall betwixt the homes. The forever evergreen blades have bristled into the adobe, long since settled in for the winter ahead. In awe, the birds overhead twitter approval. Below the snow-kempt ground, hibernating animals snore scores of warmth. While peace sets deep into the foothills, only the stucco can truly experience the wonder of sunrise from the foothills.
I am still Phil Fusluing, and the title of my piece is Nowhere to Turn. My poem, probably not the painting, but maybe, my poem is about our ongoing mass extinction, the sixth, and climate change. So nowhere to turn. Where are you? What's happening? I'm lost. Green is gone. Red, orange, heat, cinders. No blue, no cool, no trees, no escape. I am being obliterated. Where are you? What's happening? I sit here waiting for you, to do something. How long do we have left? Are you there? Can you rescue me? Bring me back green, restore blue, will you? I am at a loss what to do, where to go. Do I burrow, bury myself? I'm lost. Am I lost forever? Are we all? I wonder.
What we're doing is called connecting reflection. And usually I bring a hat when I read out loud because I'm really nervous and have stage fright, so it might just be down here, I don't know.
You want a hat?
Oh my god. Thank you. Okay. This is great.
You're safe.
I'm safe.
You're safe.
I'm alive. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not gonna read it, I just need to tap into the energy of the poem, so yeah. Deep breaths, sitting beneath the trees, writing and listening to the nectared frequencies of the birds and the bees. Even louder is my tummy roaring at me, my thoughts trembling, and suddenly I'm no longer grounding. Breaking open my chest cavity, I began to wonder. Nature is my beautiful reflection. When I lean in, the trees reach out. Would I inhale, nature exhales. Would I release, it is nature to absorb and clean. For every out-breath is mirrored by the in-breath of a plant, as their out-breath is mirrored by our in-breath. How wondrous, everything interconnected, becoming one with nature, such an intimate connection.